Oil and gas careers, considering we now have a war in the Middle East. That is today's topic. With the disruption to oil and gas supply chains, it got me thinking. All of us who earn our living in the oil and gas sector have to start thinking about what this means for jobs, for both near and long-term future of oil and gas careers. So I thought it appropriate to make a video on this topic. For those of you that don't know, my name is Jonathan Pillet. I've been in the industry for 25 years, with 15 of that living and working around the world in 11 different countries. I've not seen this exact scenario, I'll be honest, so it is hard to predict what's going to happen, but it is good to look at the facts, and from there we can make some educated assumptions. So here's the first thing people need to understand. There are 24 million foreign workers in the Middle East, with approximately 2.5 to 3.1 million of those employed in the oil and gas sector alone. Some of those 2.5 to 3.1 million are in the Middle East right now, wondering if they are going to be able to get home to their families. And some of those are sitting at home wondering if they will be able to come to work and collect a paycheck. What if suddenly all those people have to be repatriated to their home countries? The current situation is not an oil and gas production problem. It is a deliverability problem. Even if wells can produce, the system still fails if ports are constrained, if takers can't move, if insurance gets pulled, or crews cannot safely staff terminals and pipelines, rigs, and LNG trains. When deliverability breaks, storage fills up, liftings stop, and wells get shut in even though the reservoirs are perfectly fine. So what does that do to jobs? It splits the labor market into two worlds. World one is short cycle response. This is what can ramp in a few weeks to a few months. Think of US shale, parts of Canada, brownfield debottlenecking, workovers, recompletions, drying down drilled but uncompleted wells, and refinery optimization where feedstock is still available. This world hires first because it can actually move the needle very quickly. World two is the long cycle response. This is deep water, greenfield LNG, new pipelines, major rebuilds, new rigs ordered and delivered. You've got permitting of heavy deployments, and this world cannot save you this quarter. And companies will not hire big based on a small spike in the Gulf that might restart quickly. That is why mass hiring everywhere is not automatic. Even when prices jump, prices can scream higher while hiring lags because steel and permits, crews and equipment do not just magically teleport. So let's talk about the fear that everyone has. If the rest of the world ramps hard, then the Gulf comes back online, do we get a glut and a price crash that kills jobs again? The answer is yes, that risk is real, but it only happens in a very specific shape of this recovery. Oversupply is most likely when three things happen together. One, the Gulf restarts faster than expected, so exports snap back in weeks, not months. Two, non-Gulf producers have already added meaningful supply that is harder to turn off quickly, and they have basically committed to it. Three, demand gets hit by the price spike, recession fears, or conservation, so demand quietly softens right as supply returns. If the extra supply comes mostly from shale and other short cycle sources, the industry can pull back relatively fast. But this whiplash is still brutal, and whiplash is what hits jobs. So I want to frame this in three different scenarios because the duration of the shutdown matters more than the headline price. Scenario A is disruption less than 1 month. In this case, most companies treat it like volatility, not a new era. You see short-term moves, overtime, contractor extensions, maintenance catch-up, reliability work, and logistics roles. You do not see a huge global hiring spree. The biggest career risk here is not permanent layoffs, it is uncertainty. You get delayed rotations, stand-down status, demobilizations that feel like layoffs, and people getting stuck waiting. Scenario B is disruption of 1 to 3 months. This is where the hiring window becomes real, but still very selective. Buyers cannot run on optimism for a full quarter, so alternative supply chains get locked in. The world responds mostly with short cycle supply and brownfield optimization. Hiring concentrates in drilling and completions for short cycle basins, production operations, rotating equipment, integrity, process control, instrumentation, pipelines, terminals, marine logistics, HSSE, and crisis management. The mismatch problem shows up here. There will not be enough rigs and projects to absorb everyone, so the winners are the people who can deploy quickly and prove immediate value. Scenario C is disruption that is more than 3 months. This becomes more structural. The world starts repricing Gulf risk, and you get 2 parallel job booms. One boom is outside the Gulf as non-Gulf exporters scale their activity, and the second boom is the repair and rebuild economy once conditions allow in the Gulf, such as ports and pipelines, power, desalination, storage tanks, terminals, telecom, inspections, commissioning. The danger here is a boom and bust hiring cycle. When the Gulf finally returns, supply can overshoot and prices can fall fast. That is when the second layoff wave can happen, especially for contractors. So, what should you do if you are an oil and gas professional staring at this fog of war scenario affecting the oil and gas sector? So, here are 5 strategies. 1, protect your safety and your downside first. Keep documents ready, keep a cash buffer if you can, and do not assume rotations will normalize on schedule. 2, position for short cycle work. If you are searching, target the basins and operators that can add supply fast. Pitch yourself on what you can deliver in 30, 60, 90 days. Reduced MPT, improved uptime, safe cycle time improvements, fewer integrity failures. That's going to help you with the short cycle work. 3, expand beyond drilling only. In a disruption, money shifts to what keeps the system alive. Integrity, corrosion, inspections, rotating equipment, E&I, controls, pipeline ops, we got terminals, maintenance, planning, and emergency response. 4, increase your geographic mobility. The people who can deploy quickly, legally, and safely get the first calls. Keep your certifications current, keep your medicals ready, and keep multiple options open. And number 5, build a 2-track plan. Job hunting plus skill stacking. Apply aggressively where short cycle activity can rise and stack credentials that travel. Well control refreshers, process safety, inspection, reliability, incident command, LNG operations exposure, and industrial control system awareness. My final thought is this: not everyone will be absorbed quickly, even if hiring rises, because hardware and permitting cap the pace. The best move is not panic, it is optionality. Make sure your next step works if this ends next month, and also works if it drags on for 3 months. If you are in the Gulf right now, I hope you stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel and do not make irreversible decisions on a temporary storm. If you want more updates like this from an oil and gas perspective, follow and drop your role and region in the comments, and I will tell you where the highest probability opportunities are likely to show up. I hope this video helps you out there. Until next time, thanks for watching.